Sure.
And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Mechanics Institute on this Tuesday, December 1st, which is Giving Tuesday. I'm Abel Talamantes. I'm the chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and I have with me a very special guest. It is the CEO of the Mechanics Institute, Kimberly Scrafano. Thanks for joining.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
And so you came on to mechanics about a year and a half ago. Would that be right?
Yes. Almost. Yeah, almost a year and a half.
And I was excited because I remember one of your children played chess and
Yeah,
took part in one of our summer camps. So that was like very cool. So you had that chess
absolutely.
connection. But
Yeah.
since that time, we've had a lot going on in the world and at mechanics.
Right.
And you've been very busy and active in keeping everything together. How has that been? What is it like, managing all the various parts of the Mechanics Institute, which is a library, a chess room, cultural arts center. We have events, a lot of different things.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been a really different and tough year for everyone, including mechanics. And so first and foremost, I think, my perspective, and I know your perspective too, has really been how do we keep our members, how do we keep our chess players safe? And it's not ideal in terms of some of the limitations we have, but I think that the community has really come together. I also think it's been a great learning opportunity. Like there's so many different facets of mechanics. There's the chess room and all the wonderful programs you do. We've got a number of author programs, writing groups, book groups, film events, and we've really had to pivot. And I think that, and I think chess has really led the way in that way. You had, I think, chess tournaments up online within a few days of all these closures. But it has been challenging because I think that there is a lot of uncertainty. Every time we think we might be able to reopen, we get sort of, things change. And so it's a pandemic and we can't really predict it. So that's probably been one of the challenging pieces, is keeping that connected and keeping the staff and members connected too. When you can't come, it's so much easier just to be able to come to an event or, play chess in our chess room. It's just a different feel. So that's been, I think, one of the challenges.
I know a lot of people really enjoy just the history and being close to the building or in the building and partaking of the
Yeah.
things that the surroundings they're used to. With regards to opening, it's not just the decision of you or the board. State government and local ordinances and what have you are all part of that. What does the
Absolutely.
Mechanics Institute look at in terms of, or who do you look at in terms of considering whether you should open or find best practices to reopen?
That's a really good question because none of the other libraries are really open. Most of them are public libraries, so I think they have different protocols. So we've started we have the to-go service, and we've been doing as much service as we can. And so we recently there's a very small research library that has started letting, or at least was stopped now, but initially started letting 1 to 2 people in at a time. And so we connected with them and figured out how were they able to do that. We obviously have a larger scale. And they did it through sort of the city and county. You have to do, it's kind of a formalized process. You have to do certain forms. And so they use the museum forms, which are similar, but some of them are like, stipulations about, no one can sit down. So that obviously makes it a little more
That's
challenging
a
when you have a
challenge. Yeah.
library. Exactly. So right now, because of everything's closed now, all the indoor museums and everything. So we do have a plan together to be able to reopen when we can. But right now, actually, that library is closed as well as all the museums. So we really don't at this point know when we're going to be able to reopen, even for sort of a limited capacity. You know, sign up only probably sort of pilot program, which hopefully we can do soon. But again, it really just depends on the progression of COVID-19.
And we have to give a lot of props to our library director, Deb Hunt, who is in consultation with a lot of libraries throughout the country in terms of their
Yeah.
best practices and what have you. So she's a fantastic resource. So you're not completely alone at the top. You have a board of directors that help you with the decision making, and who themselves have a lot of different talents in areas of their work and life.
Sure.
What's it like working with them, and kind of leveraging all their different capabilities and talents and trying to find solutions?
Absolutely. Yeah, our trustees are just, I mean, there's amazing. There's so much expertise. You've got, as we have some sort of renowned chess players.
Yes.
We have, a number of professionals in sort of finance and banking. And we also have a lot of folks who are writers, and people who are focused on sort of the literary pieces of what we do. So it's a very diverse board in terms of sort of areas of expertise. And so it's been a real delight. And then they've been very supportive of us continuing to operate to the maximum capacity that we're able to, and have been very supportive of us transitioning and expanding our virtual programs, which has been vital, as well as diversifying it. So I think one of the things we're really looking to do is make sure that all the voices in our community are heard, and so that's been something that we've been really striving to do. And I know the chess department has done that with a number of the interviews you've done, which has been great. But we have a lot of programming we're excited about in the coming year, even though it's virtual, both in chess as well as for Black History Month, and some other events that we're pretty excited about.
Yeah, there was a pretty huge event with women's suffrage that we held right before the election, and I know Laura and Pam in the events department, they're doing a lot of author events and cinema lit and what have you.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun, the diversity of offerings that we have.
Right.
Um, for you personally, what's the shelter in place been like? Because as with a lot of people, you're trying to balance the work, home life, and what have you. And what
Right.
kind of challenges have you had with that?
Yeah, and I think the challenges for me are sort of similar in my personal and professional life. Is just that lack of connection. Like, it's great, it's wonderful. I mean, I think mechanics was around during the 1918 influenza pandemic, right? We didn't have Zoom or any of these other tools, so in some ways, it is a blessing in many ways. And at the same time, so much of our communication is in body language and interactions, and so I think that's been a really big piece, is that that isolation and feeling like how can I work better, how can we do a better job of bringing together the Mechanics Institute community. And I think that that's hard, and from my perspective too, not being able to see family, or just having to make those sacrifices around holidays and things like that can be challenging as well.
Well, it's kind of exciting for us in terms of our virtual programming, because I think all departments are really involved now in offering something online and virtually, because that is the way for us to stay connected with our community. And I think the mechanics community is appreciating that, and
Yeah.
we're trying to showcase the benefits of membership to the Mechanics Institute, especially today on
Right.
Giving Tuesday. We have
Yeah.
a full slate of chess events, and we're trying to educate everyone about the advantages, because there are chess specific advantages to being a mechanics member,
Hmm.
but you also open the door to all the other things that the institute offers, with the author events and cinema lit, and access
Right.
to the library, like where we have that pickup service. So um, I think as we educate everyone on all the benefits, I think people will be excited, and more people will want to join, especially as it appears that we're turning the corner soon, where we'll be able to get back into the building next year,
Right.
and feel a little more regular. So as you know, The Queen's Gambit on Netflix came out
Hmm.
recently. We've been getting a ton of attention
I'm
with
sure.
regards to that, especially our free women's class that we offer
Hmm.
through a grant with the U.S. Chess Women's Program. Attendance spiked last week with that. And I'm teaching a beginner's class on Wednesday evenings that we have like solid attendance, 16 people. Uh, in the chess world, that's a pretty big phenomenon that you know a television show or an event has energized chess so much. Uh, what has it been like for you to kind of see that happen and in effect, basically an organization that you're leading, where you have a series actually really affect a particular segment of mechanics in that way?
Right. Well, I think it's amazing. So I've been watching it. I'm kind of holding off on finishing it. I'm not quite because I know there's nothing left. So I'm just sort of at the end of it.
Yeah.
But it's been, what I love about this series, and it feels like, particularly when they introduce certain characters, it feels like a suspense series. Like it doesn't feel like just a drama. And I think, from the cinematography, which I think is beautiful, reminds me a lot of sort of mechanics and looking at all our old historic photos and that sort of thing. But I also think it creates this element of suspense in the character development that then blends and sort of merges with the suspense around the chess playing. So, I think that's why it's been able to get so much attention from, people who don't know anything about chess. And, it's really exciting. And I think, one of the things that I'm hoping is that some of our members who aren't chess players will take advantage and take a look and, the beginner class or the other free things that we're offering or discounted programs that we're offering. Because I think there is a renewed interest, and in particular around the gender piece. I think, I remember the line from the first one that's like, girls don't play chess, and that's sort of the sets up the whole premise, really. And and she obviously goes on, has her own sort of demons and everything at the same
Right.
time, but I think goes on to show that actually girls do play chess and women do play. So I think it's really exciting. And and like you mentioned, our women's class, I think, is, a wonderful partnership we have with US Chess. And so we're really excited about that. And hopefully, we can continue to sustain and grow that as well.
Yeah, I remember from the series, he told her, girls don't play chess, and then I could see she got mad, and then you knew she's gonna try to get better after that. So it's no secret what I'm really passionate about at the Mechanics Institute. But I think even though chess is my thing, it's been special to learn and be a part and see the passion of the other departments and what they do and how they do it. What are you passionate about at the Mechanics Institute? What when you think about the Mechanics Institute, what is it that brings that feeling of the pride when you think of it?
I think it's really the combination of all these things. And I think, I just want to sort of give a little shout out to all the staff, because I think everyone's done a phenomenal job. Chess, events, library programming, really coming together around sort of, making sure that we can continue to offer all of our programs and events, virtually. We last year, I think we hosted more than 500 events alone just at Mechanics. And so I think that sort of diversity of programming is something that really inspires me, as well as seeing people sort of trying new things. I have a chance, whether it's virtually or, someday again in person, of getting to, go to events and meet new people and meet members, or people who maybe aren't members and are thinking about becoming members. And for me, that sort of building on that community and creating a community, and it's not sort of, segmented into different interests, but it's really folks who are willing to sort of, explore different things, is really exciting.
When I think about the staff and the team at Mechanics, it's a great group of people, and the interconnectedness of all the departments, whether it be the events department and membership and development and accounting and the library. It really is a team effort, and it sort of takes that because a victory in one department's a victory for all, and I think we have that team mentality going. And I just want to give a shout out to everything you've done, because I know there's so much behind the scenes work that I'm sure a lot of people don't get to see, and it's I don't even want to ask how many hours a day you work, but just thank you for doing what you do. And I know the board gets really involved when they have to lend their support, and just like it's a team effort from the departments and the staff, I'm sure it's a team effort from you and the board in terms of working together. And yeah, it's just I'm sure it hasn't been easy to kind of steer the ship. So thank you for everything you've been doing.
Yeah, no, and thank you again. I couldn't sort of help steer the ship if you guys weren't also there. I mean, I think that, it's really been a team effort. And, the programming that you've been doing and that everyone's been doing at MI, as well as the maintenance. I mean, we also have our historic building is still there. We still have people coming in as tenants. And
Yeah.
so, I also want to make sure that we recognize that there's been a lot of shifting that we've had to do. And everyone, I think, has really come together. I really.
And definitely have to give a shout out to Mohammed, who has for 20 plus years, I think, has been taking care of the maintenance
Exactly.
and everything. Well, Kimberly, thank you for coming on with us. We have a full slate of events in chess to celebrate the Giving Tuesday and try to promote memberships and giving. And who knows, maybe we'll get some trustees to peek in on the broadcast for the events later on. But thank you for giving your time today. And, you know, follow us on Twitch if
Yeah,
you got
absolutely.
nothing to do
Thank you so
later.
much. Thanks
All
so much.
right.
Okay.
Kimberly Scrafano, CEO of the Mechanics Institute. And if you have any questions about anything we're doing, just feel free to go to our website, milibrary.org, and reach out to us. All the information is there. Thank you, Kimberly.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.